Professor GaoQiShis and Practice, Question 177. Question: May Master GaoQiShis guide my practice of Zhunti method like what you have done to your early apprentice? Thank you. Answer: Don't be impatient. First, watch our video of Method of Intermediate State, Bado Method, 7 times, and make wishes to live in Pure Land of Amita Buddha after rebirth, Amitabha. Afterwards, recite 1,000 times of chapter of Bodhisattva Universal Worthy. With this basis, you can learn with me. If you are confident, start now. Regardless of what I can do for you, after all, I'm a Buddhist layman, so it is better for us to be in a relation of friendship as classmates of Buddhism. We learn from each other and supervise each other.
Question 178. Question: Even if there's no formal master-apprentice relationship, you do give me favor in transmitting Zhunti method. To me, you are still my master. When you say that Mr. GaoQiShis is just your companion to learn the essence, I'm not your guru master. When I heard it, I was very uneasy. I'd like to know, Master GaoQiShis, what you have done in the past that leads you to Buddhist achievement at present. Do you also have no teachers to follow, but only to learn Zhunti method by the essence? Now, have you got consecration of Zhunti method? Please talk about these topics to increase confidence of the apprentices of Zhunti method, and it can also be used as a reference for us. I pay homage to you. Question 178. Answer: I always follow the essence as my principal source of practice of Zhunti method. However, in the past dozen years, I have also spent a lot of time and energy to study different varieties of Zhunti methods. The Zhunti method taught by Master Shen Zhen of Zen School, the Zhunti method taught by Acharya Gagan of Gelugpa School, Superior Master Yundeng Sambu of Junan School, has transmitted me Zhunti method. The Zhunti method passed to me by Sangha Baimei, the Zhunti method transmitted to me by Nima School's Diza Kempo. I have unified all those different versions of Zhunti method into our system of teachings of Zhunti method in our online college, so that you students can learn genuine Zhunti method without spending too much time or energy. In fact, Zhunti method is a general method, and it is the fastest and best shortcut to achieve in the method by studying according to the essence. We are here to change the medieval master-disciple relationship that exists still in Buddhism today. We change the master-disciple relationship into modern relation of teacher-student. This is very consistent with the general trend of the development of modern Buddhism. Only in this way can Buddhism benefit a wider range of sentient beings. Question 179. Question: A few years ago, in my dream, Professor GaoQiShis gave me some clarification about wishes and actions, mainly to point out that my vows and actions are inconsistent, and I have only wishes and no actions corresponding to realize them. I have 2 questions to ask. One is that the business I run has been particularly bad recently, and my mood is very bad. The other is that during this time in meditation, my body has some change. I become to have so much sexual desire. I feel ashamed. Question 179. Answer: One of my wishes is to appear in the dream of my students, to increase confidence of the Zhunti incantation holder. As to the information I gave you in the dream, it is still necessary to verify if they are consistent with Buddhist classics. As long as you have confidence in Zhunti method, it doesn't matter if I appear or not in the dream. About your questions, business situation is always like that. Sometimes it is good, sometimes it is bad. You don't need to pay too much attention to them. You'd better kowtow 100 times in front of the Buddha every day. Read the Namo Guanyin Bodhisattva once after every koto, and after you're paying respect to Buddha, recite Zhunti mantra for 20 minutes somewhere alone. Persist for 10 days in this practice. The problem of sudden rise of your desire will be basically solved. Question 180. Question. The current financial fortunes of you, Professor GaoQiShis, do you obtain them by fate, or is it because you have practiced the Zhunti method? Reply. Wealth is obtained through labor. What is fate or luck? Isn't it the effect of the blessing you have from your past life? Isn't the blessing also resulted from your labor and charity activities in more distant past lives? Fate of wealth is cause. To practice a Buddhist method is the occasion. From the point of view of the cycle of lives, the substantiality of causality is there. 1 point of labor and 1 point of fruit. Question 181. Question. Please explain how to make transference of merits. Answer. First paragraph. We need to learn the techniques of transference of merits in Zhunti method and know how to use these techniques to pray to the Zhunti Mother Buddha. First of all, make up your minds of your wishes. Be clear about them. Many people think that making a wish is an easy affair, and they can do it casually and effortlessly. Some people think that as long as they find a text of transference of merits of universal use, read series of beautiful words in the text, and in closing the book the transference of merits is done. Others criticized this approach as close to utilitarian superstition. They advocated the following fate motto, which sometimes means no transference of merits at all. In fact, when a person comes to the judge for a petition, he certainly shouldn't be at loss of what his request is. He must prepare the reasons to be presented in the petition in advance and think about how to make his statements to the judge. Similarly, when we invite guests to negotiate, we should prepare everything in advance and clarify our purpose and position rather than letting this person guess what we want. Bodhisattvas and Dharma protectors are not to be treated as having to do diagnosis on what your wish is. Question 181. Reply. Paragraph 2. Whether it's about your job or direction of investment of your merits, we should be equally attentive. The more the work we value highly, the more we need to do it carefully. If we are attentive and consistent while holding the mantra, but the direction of the merits to be invested is inattentive, this will eventually be futile. If we thought it would be okay to make transference of merits casually, but are serious with secular job and businesses, is this not a big irony in itself? Question 181. Reply. Paragraph 3. Making wishes and transferring merits is like talking to Buddha. Although we can't touch her or hear her replies, she's like a friend of ours with flesh and blood, talking to our hearts. When we feel that Zhunti Bodhisattva is around us, we will be serious in dealing with our Buddhist practice, instead of thinking, hey, we have finally finished our daily Buddhist practice today. Only in this way will our making wishes and transference of merits not as dull as reciting textbook by school children, nor shall we use any arrogant tone of a master or the violent tone of robbers. We should keep ourselves in modest attitude, but unflinching, and rely on the compassionate love of the Zhunti Bodhisattva, Mother of Buddha, to state clearly what we really want and need. Question 181. Reply. Paragraph 4. The second point of transferring merits by wishes is honesty. When you make a wish, you must first understand just from your own point of view that what you want, the earnest request that you make to Junti Bodhisattva, is what would not originally happen to you, only by relying on the grace and blessings of Junti Bodhisattva and her great power that our wishes will be fulfilled. It is hypocrite to believe that you do not need the grace from Junti Bodhisattva, that only other people who suffer more need it. It is arrogant to believe that you can bear all the effect of your past karma just by yourself, or to underestimate the grace that Junti Bodhisattva has given us. Don't be afraid of losing confidence in the thought that you may not get what you want, because confidence is established in sufficient evidence shown in the progress of your practice, not in fantasy of your avoidance.
Question 181. Answer paragraph 5. Then we should know clearly what we want, and then we must make it clear in stating what we want while praying to the Junti Bodhisattva. Some people often do not understand what they are asking for. While praying, you should be very affirmative and clear of your wishes, and don't make any circumlocution. Just go straight to the question matter, your wish, and be straightforward. We must state clearly with honesty what we want. When we pray to Bodhisattva to fulfill our wishes, our thoughts will be clear, and don't be ashamed or play on ambiguity.
Question 181. Reply. Paragraph 6. The final point is purification. Of course, you should also think about whether what you are asking for is appropriate. If we think about it carefully, we will find that some of the things we asked for were originally improperly thought. It violates what you have learned or principles you have believed to be the right ones. Your hidden motives may be selfish or egoistic. They are contrary to the truth you have embraced. We may only want something because of its comfortableness and convenience to us, and forget that everything is manifestation of Junti Bodhisattva, that everything is a grace bestowed by Junti Bodhisattva, that everything is determination of Junti Bodhisattva. It is difficult for everyone to distinguish which motive is selfish and which is not, because selfishness is hidden deeply in our consciousness. Therefore, we can pray for our own interests, which make us more honest. But we must not forget to repay the favor done to us because of our own interests. My happiness is the happiness of Buddhists. Success of my career is the success of the enterprise of Junti Bodhisattva. Repaying to the favor and grace of Junti Bodhisattva by our own happiness and success is to contribute to the development of Junti method. It will make me manifestation of the wealth and wisdom of the Junti Bodhisattva. Question 181. Reply. Paragraph 7. Briefly, the above 3 points can be summed up. First of all, to clearly state what you want, so that your wish has some sense of reality, and you know what you ask for. Secondly, a pious and honest attitude. Believe in what you want is what you need, and their fulfillment relies solely on the grace of the Junti Bodhisattva bestowed on us. Finally, the most important thing is to completely purify fulfillment of your own self-interested wishes. Return all your success and glory to the cause of Junti Bodhisattva. Other related skills are stated in the 4th semester of our college and in the outer practice of the intermediate class. My fellow initiates, please study them well. Question 182. Question. I'm a businessman and later decided to become a monk. Now I spent 2 years dealing with business matters. I'm not financially troubled now. Is it suitable for me to be a monk? Reply. Paragraph 1. Everyone will praise your vow to become a monk, but you must keep calm. Becoming a monk is not a simple problem. It involves a whole transformation of life. I suggest that you can go to the monastery to live with the monks for a year. In this way, through observation and practice can we know whether we are suitable to pass monastery life. This so-called suitableness has two meanings. First, whether you are suitable for monastery life. Question 182. Reply. Paragraph 2. Second, how to do it in order to realize at maximum one's own ability and create values for sentient beings and make service to Buddhism. I also had the idea of becoming a monk. I lived a celibate life for 5 years and studied religious studies of Buddhism at Peking University. I was with monks, Buddhist priests these days. Finally, I felt that it was not suitable for me to be a monk in a monastery in mainland China. If we become Buddhist monk at middle age, we have much of so-called habitus. It means habitual thoughts, including your own knowledge and ambitions. I later went deep into Tibetan Buddhism and obtained the qualification of Vajra Acharya. But considering the cultural differences between the Han China and Tibetan areas and the transmission characteristics of the Zhunti method, I finally gave up the idea of taking Tibetan monkhood. Question 182. Reply. Paragraph 3. It took me a few years of reflection before I decided to serve sentient beings by propagating Zhunti method. Therefore, no one can draw conclusions about your affairs. You need to think on your own accord and observe the actuality. You have much blessing and wisdom. I think you will be brave to face criticism, setbacks in life, and temporary dissatisfaction. Whether you are a Buddhist priest or layman, they are formal stuff. What is important is how to make our lives more valuable, serve and bring happiness to our loved ones, friends, and sentient beings.
Question 183. Question. Buddhist canons always say that the only access to teachings of Buddha is faith or belief or confidence. You also emphasize the importance of faith. So what is real faith, pure confidence? Answer. Paragraph 1. Zhunti method is beyond the secular and the transcendent, so it comprehends the contents of all secular Dharma and Buddhist Dharma. Everything is manifestation of Zhunti Bodhisattva. At any time, Zhunti method will not be the same as secular Dharma, and it can never be fully understood by ordinary people. The part that everyone can understand is just the part that Zhunti method manifests itself in our own hearts. The size and quality of this personal manifestation cannot be used as measure to judge the nature or quality of Zhunti methods.
Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 2. A man of little blessing and merits, if he doesn't have any doubt about this method, he can also embark on the path to liberation. There will appear many feeling feedbacks when one practices Zhunti method. A person's response just means what Zhunti method makes to appear to that person alone. This kind of feeling feedback and understanding of the feedback can only be used as something to increase the faith of practitioners, but not as any measure of the effectivity, usefulness, or appropriateness of Zhunti method. These judgments of duality are not suitable principles to follow here. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 3. Are our feelings reliable? There are a lot of stories of divine responses from practicing Zhunti method on our website. Are these stories true? These stories are not real? Someone, when they ask, do those things exist? Or you say, those are not real. In fact, the real sense of this question is, the state that shows itself in your mind, is it existent or inexistent? When I answer, it exists. In fact, this expresses a thought. The state that Zhunti Bodhisattva manifests in my mind exists. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 4. Question: is this true? That is, the thing appeared in your mind. True or false? Answer: it is true. That is, it is the real thing that appears in my heart. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 5. The fundamental meaning of all questions is purely to find out what the other person is thinking about. The affirmative or negative answer made by the other party is purely determined by the other party according to the ideas generated in his own mind. Therefore, two people with different opinions will continue to argue endlessly because they hold different views until they reach a consensus. When their opinions reach unanimity, they will put the agreed opinions into the categories of knowledge and truth. In this way, the greater the number of people who hold the same view on the same problem, the more weight the problem will have, and more the strength of truth. Any re-emerging point of view that is different from this one will be refuted as heresy or inexplicable feeling, and will be attacked and rejected by most people. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 6. Second, seek common ground. There are two ways to reach agreement on mutually diverging opinions. First, basing on a classic. Once they read the relevant records in a certain sutra, the dispute between the two will naturally disappear and a consensus will be reached. Secondly, based on some necessary links. It must have been afternoon when we saw the sun on the west side. If we saw smoke on the mountain, we could speculate that the mountain was on fire. But the problem with Buddhism is that there are too many classics in Buddhism. Everyone can find a doctrine from the classics that supports their own opinions. This leads to more prejudiced opinions, and it is difficult for both sides of the debate to find a consistent standard of judgment. Usually, humans add a confused mind to the five senses with inferior functions and limited functions, and then arbitrarily declare, all knowledge is in my understanding, and attribute those truths which do not appear in their mind to be false doctrines or wrong immature ideas. This is undoubtedly the root of all evil. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 7. Our purpose in practicing Buddhism is to understand an unknown world that we have never experienced. However, the transcendent world that we think we are about to know was created on the basis of experience of this secular world, especially the experience of human beings. For example, because we like jewelries, so in the Buddha kingdom or in Pure Land, it is decorated with abundant realism jewelries. If we seriously look at 32 aspects of the appearance of Buddha body, they are in fact aristocratic costumes and body appearance that please eyes of we human beings in this world. Let's take a closer look at the Buddha's enjoyment body and the costumes of the gods. We will be surprised to find that their costumes are purely that of ancient Indian emperors. Although in Buddhist canons, it is always denied that any dress of Buddha or gods is created deliberately by human beings. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 8. But in fact, the merits and virtues of Buddha kingdom imaginable by ordinary mortals are used to inspire the joy and respect of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and to induce their beliefs. So they adopt the honorable emperor's appearance of this world and expediently guide the sentient beings towards the Buddha. Therefore, if the Buddha were born in mainland China, the image of his enjoyment body would surely be a Han Chinese with a long black beard and wear dragon robe. If Buddha was born in Tibet, there would surely be in Buddha Kingdom an extravagantly large ghee tea bucket full of milk tea made from heavenly cows and heavenly leaves. Question 183. Reply, paragraph 9. It can be seen from this that our depiction of the world of Buddha and the Buddha Kingdom is only a manifestation of the wishes of we ordinary people. Fourth, what is the true meaning of having faith in Buddha? Just as Chandrakirti Bodhisattva says, "Ah, Buddha, we can't understand your profound secretive teaching. Buddha's secret cannot be proclaimed in words. Even if it is preached, it is far from what we ordinary intelligence can understand. Therefore, if we can or should have a sense of awe at the incredible aspect of Buddha, we should have faith and belief in what Buddha called eternity and moment. A particle of matter is the same as the universe. Perfect virtues and merits of Dharani, 10 thoughts can make you reborn in pure land of Amitabha." Question 183. Reply, paragraph 10. This is one of the reasons that faith is the only access to Buddhism, and it is not appropriate to use our feelings and wisdom to measure the profound and wide realm of Buddha. The different manifestations of Buddha are also dependent on the situation and timing of the people by the opportunity of every sentient being, and this point seems to be contradictory or inconceivable to ordinary people. We can enter into Buddhism only by faith. Faith on what? Exactly on the parts that are beyond the reach of understanding, all the parts that emotionally we cannot accept. Only those things that we cannot understand, we must have belief in them. Question 183. Reply, paragraph 11. Buddha teaches a group of frogs at the bottom of the well, using the frog's language and understandable methods to make the frog live happily at the bottom of the well. All frogs follow Buddha's words. When Buddha says that there's a larger grass outside, some frogs cannot understand and thought that they had heard the false utterances, untrue statements from Buddha. Some simply believed that Buddhism was influenced by false doctrines of opponents of Buddhism. Some frogs even think that Buddha can only use frog language to tell the truth, and once Buddha uses another animal's language to speak, they think it is inauthentic. Question 183. Reply, paragraph 12. We do not want to admit that the wisdom and level of experience of Buddha are beyond our reach. We always try to make level of Buddha, teaching the Buddha, in congruence with our own thoughts and language, and stubbornly require level of Buddha consistent with our thoughts. Moreover, in terms of rhetorical and verbal plan, often people reach so-called smoothness and harmony of doctrines at the price of true intention of Buddha. Once you get the feeling that Buddha is intelligible to me, you think you have found the ultimate theory. But in fact, this is just meat eater gets meat and wine lover gets wine. All they get is the part that they feel they like. Therefore, those who truly believe Buddhism should face the part of Buddhism that we do not understand. This is the real starting point for us to improve our spiritual practice. Progress can only be achieved by trusting in the solution by jump into the faith. If you want to understand and then believe what you understand, you can only stay where you are. Question 183. Reply, paragraph 13. True and pure belief. We cannot demand the manifestation of Buddha to be always consistent with what our ordinary people want, with our ethics, and consistent with our morality. The thoughts in our childhood have completely changed their appearance in our old age. This is what we all have to experience for ourselves. After one learns that he has such a huge change in thoughts by the distance of age, he still insists that the thoughts between Bodhisattva and mortals do not contradict each other. It will be really paradoxical. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 14. For true believers, the part of Buddhism that can be understood is believed, and the part that is incomprehensible for the time being is believed as well. This is pure belief. If someone's wish that is prayed for in practice is not satisfied, for example, the wish to buy a car or going abroad, he will consider this to be arrangement of Bodhisattva. Mother Buddha will not let my wish come true because this wish is not good for me. So the Bodhisattva is bestowing mercy on me and makes his wish unfulfilled. Another illustration is that at different stages of learning Buddhism, there are different stages of development of Zhunti method corresponding to them. It is of separation, integration, surpassing, and overtaking. Our theory has a spiraling process of development by negation. The prohibited today may be what will be promoted tomorrow. If it is not by access to faith as the starting point, you will inevitably stand still and not make any progress. Question 183. Reply. Paragraph 15. Correction and formulation can only be entered by faith, and believing the part that can be understood by our feelings and concepts is called rational belief. The part that cannot be understood by us is called pure faith. Only pure faith can enter into the realm of Dhamma, and only in it can we get the true Buddhist revelation. So we can make the confused into the divine, and faith can be pure and perfect then. Question 183, paragraph 16. Therefore, we say that we believe the part of Buddhism that we cannot understand by our own knowledge and feelings is the center and driving force of the Buddhist faith. This impetus refers to what really allows you to deepen your practice and gain power beyond yourself. Rational faith is the cornerstone, and pure belief is the pioneer. Authentic faith is a reasonable composition of rational faith and pure faith. We call these pure faith in general. Question 184. Question. Why are there 70 million Zhunti Bodhisattva? Reply. Paragraph 1. A Buddhist friend said to me with confidence, "I'm determined to be a Buddhist monk." I asked why. He said that a teacher in Taiwan said that to save sentient beings needs vows like that. Yes, it is necessary not only to become a Buddhist priest, but also to become a Bodhisattva. Buddhicitta is a heart to save all sentient beings by becoming Buddha. When we practice Zhunti method, we should take Zhunti Bodhisattva as a model of our self-cultivation. We adopt the power of vow of Zhunti Guanyin as our own power of will, and model the maxim of behavior of Zhunti Bodhisattva as our own code of conduct. Hearing the voice and then save suffering beings, respond thousandly to thousands of requests, thousands of people pray and call, and thousands get divine correspondence. We visualize that we are the incarnation of Zhunti Bodhisattva. We can encourage us to take the Bodhisattva's wish and activities as our own task. No difference, no ununiqueness, no difference of impurity and purity. This courageous spirit of great men to shoulder the duties is the inner spine of learners of Buddha. If we just enjoy our being ordinary people, how can we have the resources to become Buddha? Willing only to relax requirements or just pray to the Bodhisattva and do not know how to do what Buddha does? Question 184. Reply, paragraph 2. Why are there 17 million Junti Bodhisattva? Because Junti Bodhisattva, in her initial stage, when she is not enjoying the status of Bodhisattva, is practicing in this way. She models herself over an already achieved Junti Bodhisattva. She visualizes herself to be incarnation of Junti Bodhisattva, beginning with strength of vows and practice method, turning all circumstances into pure circumstances, with compassion and joy, and save all universal sentient beings. Although we are not real Junti Bodhisattva, but our present thought is infinite cause. Perhaps the elements of ordinary worldly thought are too much in our consciousness, but your non-stop consciousness is divided at every moment into only two options: planting seeds of worldly ordinary life, or of life of Bodhisattva. Therefore, we can only work towards the good and the true side of beings. In every thought, take ourselves to be Bodhisattva. We think of ourselves as Bodhisattva in our minds and demand to restrain ourselves by doing Bodhisattva activities. Because we are really Bodhisattva, and the conception of ourselves to be just ordinary human beings is an illusion. Question 184. Reply, paragraph 3. I remember once helping an acharya organizing a Fowa method assembly. When I was talking about the verse, originally clean and boundless realm manifests itself, perfection decorates the solemn Western Pure Land, asked the Buddhist friends to consider where we are now is Pure Land of Amitabha. Visualize the worldly stuff here to be all kinds of jewelries of Pure Land. The Acharya immediately corrected me in saying, "This world doesn't need to be conceived to be pure. It is pure in itself. It is just that our consciousness is not pure and clean, that we do not find it. So it is like there are impurities on our eyes, and the world we see become impure. So the point here is originally clean and pure, not that it was originally impure, and we artificially conceive it to be pure." Question 184. Reply, paragraph 4. Apprentices, friends of Junti method, our standard of happiness is to relieve all people of their annoyances, of their sufferings. This is the best way for us to relieve our own annoyances, because we are Junti Bodhisattva. Question 185. Question: why are believers of Junti method called Junti walkers? Reply, paragraph 1. To call us Junti walkers, the walker has a double meaning. One meaning can be understood as a walking person, a pedestrian, that is, we are happy people walking on the way to the Pure Land of Amitabha. Pure Land is the direction of the pedestrian. Happy is the state of the pedestrian. It is contrary to the general understanding of spiritual practice as bitter exercise. This also leads to another meaning of the walker, the practitioner. Practice is a state of constant revision, correction, and progress of physical and mental behavior. It is not that self-cultivation meets the status quo when it reaches a peak or it stops at a peak. If you think that there's a fixed point where you can stop, it is no longer compatible with the three Buddhist seals. This is definitely not the case for practicing Buddhism. Practicing is the process of constantly advancing, constantly revising yourself, and constantly improving mind and wisdom, because the world is developing and certain beings are changing. We as workers must also change, and our wisdom and skills must be constantly improved and supplemented in order to better serve society and serve sentient beings. Question 185. Reply, paragraph 2. The above-mentioned development and changes also reflect the impermanence taught in Buddhist doctrines, That is, impermanence is development and constant change. From another perspective, the meaning of the walker is completely consistent with the principles of wisdom of Buddha and the principles of Buddhism. In fact, the word walker is used to replace the meaning of bodhisattva in the mind of sentient beings. Everyone understands what is bodhisattva differently. Is it a bodhisattva standing high above, which requires incense burning and koto, a sculpture made from mud? Or, as in some dialects, a bodhisattva implies laziness and refers to a person who sits and doesn't work. The original meaning of the bodhisattva is good and kind, and the bodhisattva is selfless in helping to save all sentient beings. Question 185. Reply, paragraph 3. Under the premise of correctly understanding the meaning of bodhisattva, we advocate that everyone should be a junti walker, so that it has the Buddhist significance of universal savior of sentient beings. When you talk about the idea of junti walker, you must first understand what a Buddhist walker is. Only if you have understanding of the above two meanings can you truly comprehend the meaning of junti walker.